Hi, my name's Tony.
Hi, I'm Warren.
I'm Scuba Steve.
And we are Iron Buffalo.
I met Warren working with him in the steel shop back when I had a real job, and met Steve in radio school, and he was too weird to hang out with at first.
Well, I met Tony back in radio school, but I eventually landed a job here and we reconnected. Once that happened, I ran into his friend Warren, who happened to play drums. Tony happened to play guitar. At that point, I was an aspiring guitar player. They convinced me to try out bass, gave it a go, and here we are.
Well, me and Tony met at a steel shop in town we both worked at. He hounded me for, I'd say, a good solid year before I actually allowed him to come and jam with me. At which point he broke up the band I was in, and yeah, he kind of put himself in the place. Steve, I didn't meet until he moved here, and yeah, ever since then, just been playing music together.
So it's a funny story. We spent like countless hours, weeks, trying to think of a name and suggestions, and none of them were good. But I remember one night I was at Tony's place. We were playing I want to say one of the UFC games, and he had a created fighter, and his name was Iron Buffalo. And I think Tony asked me, like, jokingly, what if we just called the band Iron Buffalo? And I kind of laughed, and I'm like, why not? So I think we messaged Warren, and he was into it. He was like, hey, we're Iron Buffalo now. So as far as I remember, I did drink a lot of rum that night, but I think that's how it happened.
I think it's just because we're different. I don't know of anybody else in the city that sounds the way we do. I don't even know a lot of bands that are doing the kind of music we are, like, which is still, like, there's hard rock bands out there, but I can't think of anybody that's similar to what we're doing. And that's not by design either. That's just because there's three dudes that come from weird places. You know, Steve's our black metal guy, and Warren has sort of, I don't know, he's got a lot of different influences too. We both come from that metalcore scene, Killswitch Engage, Lamb of God, all these sorts of guys. But I was a weirdo, and I was more into the blues as a kid and more guitar music like that. So I think together, everybody pulls from something different, and that's just what makes our sound.
Well, whenever we write, it usually starts with a riff. Tony has an idea that he brings in, or he's just sound checking, or maybe Scuba's plucking in the string. Then I'll throw a beat on it. Can't Breathe was just one of those songs.
We got lucky with Can't Breathe because it was pretty much written in, I think it was over the course of maybe 2 jams. I started with just that opening lick that you hear on the beginning of the song, and we just jammed that out a whole bunch, and it had such a cool sound, and Steve started doing these slides on it, and it was neat. But then we were stuck and we had no idea what to do with it. I remember telling Steve, just do a really fast bass thing.
I remember going home that week and I tried to write something a little more crisp that would fit better. Next practice, I brought that over. I think it sounded pretty good, and then the rest of the song kind of wrote itself after that. It's always been organic, and everyone has a part, everyone contributes, and it's combined ideas. And Can't Breathe was 100% that type of song.
With the album coming out, if we can make some sales off that and even do a couple of tours or something.
We're definitely taking it a lot more serious now than we used to. When we started, we just wanted to jam. And I remember it was the dream to just play a gig. So the fact that we've played a bunch of gigs now and we're putting together our own music and writing and not just playing covers anymore, that's pretty cool.
I'm just excited to show how far we've grown over the years. From starting playing covers, spending hours and hours just trying to learn songs that we haven't even wrote, just all the work, to writing some riffs, to maybe putting a song together, to now we have 5 full songs being recorded professionally on an album that we're going to be putting out. It's just crazy how far it's come.